Dominica, where exquisite living is defined by nature.
That's just how we roll.
Let me tell you who I'm rolling with. I am rolling with the Dot Experiment. I don't know if you ever heard of them before, but the Dot Experiment is here to help you with all your cell phone and computer needs. The Dot Experiment is here for all your tech, all your software problems, whether it's the storage full, your laptop won't boot, or you're just tired of your current setup, or you're just looking for tech support. The Dot Experiment is the only way to go. Call them today, 404-259-1343, or you can email them at support@thedotexperiment.com for a free consultation. Don't waste your money buying tech stuff and tech software that you don't understand and don't know how to use. Contact the Dot Experiment, the professionals in fixing all your stuff, man. So before you buy that cell phone, before you get that computer, contact the Dot Experiment. It's the only way to go. I'm telling you, that's how we rolling over here.
Give it to me, do it to me, give it to me. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. The way you make me.
Do you like music like this? That's right, I'm asking you. Do you like music like this? Then why have you not been to Sophisticated Saturday as yet? That's right, each and every third Saturday of the month, we call it Sophisticated Saturdays. Where we keep it at? Caribbeanlifetv Studios. 6254 Memorial Drive is the only place to be each and every third Saturday of the month. So if you want to celebrate your birthday, if you just want to come hang out and have some fun with grown people having big fun, Sophisticated Saturdays is the only place to be. It's brought to you by yours truly, DJ Reds, and my boy, Mr. B. Sophisticated Saturdays, every third Saturday of the month, 6254 Memorial Drive is where the grown people go and have good, clean fun. Every third Saturday of the month, man. The way you make me feel, I'm just going to have fun. I'll see you there. Sophisticated Saturdays. I got you. It's all about Caribbean International Shipping. That's right. Do you need more information on shipping your items to the U.S. Southeast region or to the Caribbean? Have you ever heard of Caribbean International Shipping? You shop, they pack, and ship. They also offer residential pickup services. Support our business, like, share, and call. For your barrel shippings, let us know. The number to call is 470-718-9675 on WhatsApp or 770-323-1111. Caribbean International Shipping, the only way to send your stuff to the islands. Lawrence Prescott Photography. I'm smiling, I'm laughing because, God, I know what I'm talking about. Lawrence Prescott Photography. That's the only person you need to call when you're ready to take your pictures. You want those pictures to come out right. You want those pictures to last forever. You want your best picture taken? Lawrence Prescott Photography. He does private events, in studio also, and outdoor photography if you need. Photography is what Lawrence Prescott does, and he's really good at it. Trust me. And also, when you want to get that video done, any type of videography production, he got you. He does short films, movies, any type of videos as well. Lawrence Prescott got you at anything that you really need. So make sure you give him a call. His phone number, and I'm going to say it slow for you, it's 404-218-1234. Did you get that? 404-218-1234. Lawrence Prescott Photography. Yo, my brethren, big up.
Join us and let's celebrate 20 years when Mr. B and Peter presents the 20 years Mix and Mingle Anniversary Party, Any Color Edition. Friday, May 24th, Memorial Weekend, from 9 p.m. until at Front Page Events. Music powered by DJ Natty Samuel, DJ Red, Team Exclusive, and Unity Squad. Admission $30, more at the door. Tickets can be purchased at International Food Market, 3709 Covington Highway, T's Caribbean West Indian Market, 3269 Salem Road, and GT Paradise Caribbean Cuisine, 4208 Church Avenue in Brooklyn. For more information, call 404-468-6989 or 678-437-0069. It's the 20 years Mix and Mingle Anniversary Party, Any Color Edition, with a free 20th anniversary giveaway. Friday, May 24th, Memorial Weekend, from 9 p.m. until at Front Page Events, located at 8010 Rockbridge Road in Lithonia, Georgia.
choose to go, it won't take me far. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden, living my life like it's 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 golden, golden. I'm taking my own freedom, putting it in my song, singing loud and strong, grooving all day long. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my stroll. I'll be hot stepping, y'all, letting the joy unfold. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden, living my life like it's 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 golden, golden. I'm holding on to my freedom, can't take it from me. I was born into it, it comes naturally. I'm strumming my own freedom, playing the God in me, representing His glory. Hope He's proud of me. Hope He's proud of me. I'm living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's
Hey now, hey everybody, how are y'all doing tonight? I know I'm sounding country, but I don't care. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome tonight to another episode. I'm calling this my season 2. And so this is episode 2 in season 2 of Reading to Feed the Mind. I'm live now. I'm still excited. I'm on a high. So living my life like it's golden, celebrating my freedom. That is a really inspirational song, and it really hits home for me. And freedom is what I'm going to concentrate on tonight, because tonight we're talking about children's literacy. So yes, I talk about books, but I want to include our kids as well as adults, more adults than kids. But anyway, so tonight I want to talk about children's literacy and really the importance of children learning to read. So this one has become pretty passionate for me, because when you look around and you see the kids in the street, and you run across parents whose children are graduating high school or barely graduating high school, and they drop out, they want to go get their GED, and I'm always asking myself, what happened? What's wrong? You know? And a little bit more about me. Since 2012, I have been teaching, assisting adults pass the GED test. So basically tutoring. It started out in a class, but then after 2020, I've been more like one-on-one, small group kind of thing. We do a lot with Zoom as well as meet in person. But I get these phone calls, y'all, from ladies who are like, I'm trying to help my son get his GED. He didn't finish school. He 10th grade was his last grade. And I'm like, okay, I'm non-judgmental, but still, just as a human, I'm asking myself, why, what's going on? Why are our kids not learning to read, or, staying in school or whatever? And I know it's various reasons, but tonight I'm concentrating on the literacy reason. So I have a presentation that I'm going to share with you all, but the statistics are phenomenal. And I remember years and years ago, I would hear conscious brothers talking, and they would say, yeah, they build prisons. If some black kids can't read at the 3rd grade level, they build in prisons. And I used to go, all right, okay, 3rd grade, you gonna know to build a prison. But y'all, I was in a meeting, a literacy meeting with multiple races, primarily Caucasian races, and they did a presentation. This was pre-COVID, so this was probably like 2018, 2019. I was in this meeting, up in North Georgia, and this woman stood up and did a presentation, because the numbers are spread now. So even if we were made to think it was just a black race, which it probably wasn't, that was always our emphasis, but it's spread now. it's kids all across the board, different nationalities, income levels, and everything. So tonight, I wanted to bring some statistics to you all and talk about the importance of reading. So I'll show my slide we'll put the slide up. So when the slide is up, you won't see me. But anyway, I'm ready. If you're ready to go ahead and go with the slide. So basically, you can go to the next one. And this is going to be based on an article that I pulled up on the internet from www.literacyproject.org. This was that. This is where I got these statistics and the information that I'm sharing. So basically what I did was just pull out the bullet points on it. So, okay, literacy in the United States. Currently, and it's a lot of print on the screen, but anyway, we'll just go bullet by bullet. So currently, there are 45 million Americans who are functionally illiterate and cannot read above a 5th grade level. And I have been getting calls. I probably get every 3 months or so, I'll get a call from an adult that already has their high school diploma, but they can't read. Or it's a matter of they're wanting to get their GED, but because they can't read, we first have to, help them learn how to read, which I have not done, but I have since started researching materials on helping, just focusing on reading. But that number is really high. So the next statistic says that 50% of adults cannot read a book written at an 8th grade level. 50% of adults. This is 2024, y'all, right? Okay. 1/3 of 4th graders reach the proficient reading level. So again, if they aren't able to read by the 3rd grade, then of course, by 4th grade, only 1/3 of them are reaching that level. 25% of students in California school systems are able to perform basic reading skills. And that's one state. They didn't even break that down across the U.S. So 25%. And then 85% of juvenile offenders have problems reading, and which goes back to that 3rd grade. If they can't read by the 3rd grade, and in those statistics that the lady was sharing with us, that's what she was saying, if they can't read at a 3rd grade level, they're more likely to not finish high school, to go to jail, commit crimes, and just really not be a productive citizen or a productive person, okay? And then it says 3 out of 5 people in American prisons can't read, and 3 out of 4 people on welfare can't read. So that is just phenomenal when what I'm going to show through the rest of the presentation is something as simple as pulling out a book. You can go to Goodwill and get a book. You can, $1 or $2. You can go to the dollar store and pick up children's book. Well, what is it, $1.25 in the store now? It's not the dollar store anymore, but the $1.25. But, it costs a little of nothing to get a book and start reading to your child at an early age. And so now that's my next slide. Literacy development and early application. So a lot of times, and I remember when my nephew was born, and I would talk to him as a baby and cuckoo with him, but then, just talk to him too. And I remember his father was like, "Why are you talking to a baby?" And I looked at him and I was like, "Why not?" And that's, I think, a misconception that a lot of people have. This little 2-month, 3-month-old baby, they can't understand. They don't know what I'm saying, right? But look at this. By age 2, a child's brain is as active as an adult's, and by age 3, the brain is more than twice as active as an adult's, and stays that way for the first 10 years of their life. So, and look at how they run around. You try to get a child to sit down, they can't sit down, they run from this, they run from that, one thing to another. So their minds are going, which is the prime time, the ultimate time that we have to start teaching them, and not even teaching them to read. Read to them. Just read. Read a story. It's that getting the words, they're hearing different words. They're beginning to form their thoughts. And so reading helps them form their thoughts. So it's not a teaching session. It's just a reading session that you're having. Next one, cognitive process developed rapidly in the first years of life. So by age 3, roughly 85% of the brain is developed. However, traditional education takes place grades K through 12, which begin at 4 or 5 years old. So the first 3 years of your child's life is the premium time to start trying to develop it. Again, I know you might be thinking, I don't know how to teach a baby. It's not about teaching. Just start reading, conversate with them. And then according to the Department of Education, the more students read or are read to for fun or on their own time and at home, the higher their reading scores are generally. Just something as simple as reading. 65% of America's fourth graders do not read at a proficient level. And then the last one, children's academic successes at age 9 and 10 can be attributed to the amount of talk they hear from birth through age 3. Again, going back to my nephew's father, he was like, why are you talking to him? Why not? That's their little conversation. And the cutest thing is when they're talking back to you, you don't know what they're saying. They probably don't know a lot of what you're saying, but you're having a conversation. I used to do that with my daughter. I would put her up on the counter when I was cooking, and she would be in the car seat, and I would be moving around the kitchen just talking. She'd talk to me, and then after a while, she'd go to sleep. So, all right. And so again, I'm making it sound like it's easy because it is. So let's see, has anybody said anyone? Nope, nobody said anything yet, but that's okay. So anyway, so the next statistics, social and cultural impacts of literacy. Now, it goes on to say that nationally, only 35% of public school students were at or above proficient in grade 4 reading, which is kind of what we just said on the other slide. In middle-income neighborhoods, the ratio of books per child is 13-1. In low-income neighborhoods, the ratio is 1 age-appropriate book for every 300 children. Really? In low-income neighborhoods, the ratio is 1 age-appropriate book for every 300 children. And then the next one is 61% of low-income families have no books at all in their homes for their children. 37% of children arrive at kindergarten without the skills necessary for lifetime learning. And then 50% of children from low-income communities start first grade up to 2 years behind their peers. And then 1 in 4 children in America grow up without learning how to read. So, social and cultural impacts. And, you know, they're going to point out the income differences. But again, that really should not be a viable excuse for why children aren't reading. Just because you're in a low-income neighborhood doesn't mean that your child can't get a book to go in your child's house. And so that's pretty impactful. And I heard a quote that said, poverty is a state of mind. And I'm paraphrasing that quote. You know, it's not the physical, it's really a state of mind. And I'm sure a lot of you all out there listening to me or watching on Facebook or YouTube can relate to this. You know, back in our time, people, if you lived in a project or low-income neighborhood, like me, right, or you were on low income, it was still a pride that our parents had. So just because you might have lived in a project or lived in an apartment on Section 8, the world didn't have to know it, right? And our parents, my mom, really still made it a preference and made it important for us to always be able to read, to always look for jobs outside of manual labor. You know, she always wanted to push us to do better. And so she had things in place for us to learn and do better. And that's all you have to do. And it's not, and that's why I say poverty is a state of mind, because you might be low income, but again, you can thrift at Goodwill. You know, they have a lot of children's books at Goodwill, and you buy them, you know, you might be able to buy 2-3 books for $1, right? And then the dollar store, again, the library is free, and your library in school is free. Go up to the school. Go to the library with your child at school. If you don't have time for anything that I just named, go to your child's library. Go to the library with them and have them to check out a book. Costs you nothing. You go into the school anyway, you know, to pick them up, or PTA meeting or something, you know, you'll be at the school. So that's an idea to do. Okay. Let's see. Let's move on. I think I duplicated that slide. Yes, I did. Skip that one. Okay. So now I want to talk about the key benefits of reading to your child. It builds their vocabulary. It supports communication and social skills, right? Because you're telling this child a story. They're starting to kind of see a different world. They see the lives of the characters in the book, and they'll adapt some of the qualities that you're reading to them. So that supports your communication and social skills. It promotes independence and self-confidence. Reading is a life skill. You know, I always heard growing up, they can take everything from you. They can take your clothes, they can take your money, they can take your car, they can take your house, they can take all your material possessions, but they can never take your knowledge, and they can never take your skills. And that's something that is extremely valuable, right? It's powerful to be able to read and to communicate effectively. Reading changes the world, changes yourself. And it supports imagination. I always have my friends laugh when I say this. I was like, but the worst thing we did to our children was take away Santa Claus. And by Santa Claus, I mean imagination. We grew up, and when I say we, I'm a Gen Xer. And I think a lot of these children out here are our children and grandchildren. They're the Gen Xers' children and grandchildren. And we should be ashamed of ourselves because we know better. We know what life was like in our generation. It was definitely all about education for the bulk of us, exceptions in everything, exception for everything. And I guess I'm only thinking about the realm of my world. So I know other things happen. And then it helps to improve your child's grammar skills. It's nothing more amazing to me than to see a little 2-year-old child carrying on the whole conversation, talking so clearly and sounding so smart, just talking about the little things. So those are some key benefits of reading. And then, so now we've talked about all the benefits, and we've talked about how important it is. I've dropped some suggestions on what to do, where to find books. But here are some things that we can start doing as parents and grandparents. Hint, hint, Ontario, that you can start reading to your child. You know, we have our grandbabies. I tell you, there are 3 things that I'm consistently doing on Facebook amongst my Facebook friends. That's congratulations on your grandbaby, congratulations on the graduation wedding, and so sorry for your loss. I'm doing that constantly. So I know a lot of you all have grandchildren. So even if the parents aren't doing it, we as grandparents understand, well, I'm speaking it to an existence. But anyway, we understand as older adults and grandparents how important education is. You can't live in this life without an education. Now, I didn't say bachelor's degree, master's, PhD, basic education. I'm telling you all, it's encouraging that I'm there to help, but it's sad when I'm watching adults my age, anywhere. My average student in a GED class has been in their 30s. That's about 30, probably even 40s is about my average age of students, somewhere between 30 and 40. And it's so hard for them to focus to get their GED because number one, they're beating themselves up because they can't believe they let the time go by so fast and, without their high school diploma. So they're frustrated, and that frustration holds them up so much. So I'm working to try to get them to release that frustration. And then, and fear, frustration leads to fear and self-doubt. So they have to fight all of that before they can really just focus on getting this thing done. Plus, on top of all of that, if they're still raising their kids. So here are some things that we can do to implement reading with our children and our grandkids, nieces and nephews, or hell, anybody's child. Just grab somebody's child and start reading to them. Okay, so read to them when they're young. I just shared all the statistics, so you see that you can read to them as early as a baby. I know there are some people that even start reading while the baby's still in the womb. So if that rocks your boat, do that too. But read to them when they are young. Now, and this is one thing, I'll say that later. Okay, and then keep reading materials in your home. Now, I know we're in a virtual world, Amazon, Audible, Kindle, and a lot of little kids have their iPads with their games, and I think you can put books on them as well. But some type of reading material should be in your home on a consistent basis. Again, have a little bookshelf where all of their books and coloring books and all of those things are there. And then as you're beginning to read to your child, pay attention to what their interests are. Don't just read Dr. Seuss. Get some Dr. Seuss. Get some other independent author books, to see what are they really interested in reading. And then going back to that library thing, if they're in school, go to the library and see, what dinosaurs, plants, fish, dogs, different kind of things. Find out what their reading interest is and feed on that. And then you can also try audio books and do a read along. Now, I know there are some adults who listen to the Audible and then read along with the book while they listen. That's a bit much, but that's what people like to do. But I would definitely do that with your child. If you have an Audible book, a children's Audible book, get a copy of the book so that they can listen to it, and go through it turn the pages and everything as they listen to the book. And then read each day or on a realistic frequency. Now, I'm not going to even say read each day because life happens. You might not be able to read every day. But even if you start with one day a week, Thursday is a reading night. We read on Thursday nights. Take an hour, 30 minutes to an hour where you sit and read with your child. Or just make it a habit every night when they go to bed. Read a book. Even if you don't read the whole book, if it's, you read part of it and then you finish it. But read on some kind of frequency with your children, okay? And we have to remember that your child's success is dependent on you as a parent or grandparent. Give them the opportunity to read to feed their minds, all right? So a little bit about my reading journey. So I can say that because I think that's how I became a passionate reader, because my sister is 7 years older than me. I'm the baby. Yes, I am. And so she would read to me. Even if my mom wasn't reading to me, my sister was reading to me. And I would get like her leftover books, the older I got. I think that's how I ended up. My first novel was Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret by Judy Blume. Blew my mind. That was my first one. And I think that was a hand-me-down from my sister. But anyway, I love that book. And that got me in a series of just reading and reading. But I still have my nursery rhyme, the big black and white nursery rhyme book. That's where mine started. I have it where I wrote my name when I was learning how to write my name. I see all of that where I would write in the book. But mine started with nursery rhyme books from my mom and my sister. I remember we would sit around and read the different nursery rhymes. And then it just progressed. Now, with my daughter and my nephew, I read to them when they were babies. And then as they got older, I would read. And like I said, I can't say I read every night. When she was a baby and a little toddler, I would read every night. But as she got older, it weaned off. But guess what? That's because she was able to pick up books by herself. And I got so tickled because both of them now, fully grown adults, and I was thinking to myself as I was preparing for this presentation, I was like, I can't get her to pick up a book now. And then I got home last night, and she asked me about Octavia Butler's, I always get Octavia Butler, the sci-fi writer, her book, Parable of the Sower, because that's coming out in the movie. And she was like, Ma, I think you got it. Do you have it? I was like, yes, I do. But I had never read it because I wasn't into sci-fi, but I had gotten the book and said I was going to read it. And anyway, that touched my heart so much because then she was standing there at my bookcase and was like, I'm going to be like my mama and start reading. What book should I get? And that really touched my heart that she did that. But it all started because I started her to read. And as parents, even if they don't read when they're adults, who cares? They can read. That's the bottom line. You put in the work and you can read. So, hey, Cranky. I see Craig is here. Hey, Terry Lynn. Hey, Jackie. Thank y'all for coming. I know I went on into my spin. I had to get the presentation out the way. So I know Terry Lynn and Jackie can relate because we all family. So I know y'all know the drills we used to get with reading and education, right? So, but thank you. And I'm so surprised to see Cranky on here. Hey, Craig, the travel junkie. If you all like to travel, link up with Craig. He is always, I live vicariously through him. And through reading, I'm pretty sure, is how he found those places to travel. So, look up, click on his link and follow him because he does a lot of traveling to different countries and stuff. I feel like a small person next to him because I go on my cruises, but Craig be naming countries I've never heard of. So anyway, I'm so glad he came. Hey, Kwanzaa. Yeah, see, I got 2 teachers in my family, Kwanzaa and Terry Lynn. So I'm telling y'all, we had to put it down. And that's the only way that our children get there is by setting a standard. And just a little bit about our family, because you might be thinking, oh, see, they family had. No, they didn't. We are, third generation? No, first, second. Yeah, I'm third generation sharecropper. My grandfather and mother and aunts and uncles were all sharecroppers. There were 7 of my mother. My mother had 7. It was a total of 7 of them. Only 2 out of that 7 got high school diplomas. And a lot of people may not know this, even in the family. Only 2 of them, and I don't think I'm wrong. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. But only 2 of them got high school diplomas. But I promise you, at any time, had you spoken to any of my family, any of my mom or any of my aunts and uncles, unless they were being just really country, you would have never known that they didn't at least have their high school diploma. And what they gave to us, my mom didn't have a lot of money. As I said earlier, she was one of those champagne taste Kool-Aid pocketbook kind of people. But we didn't always have a lot. But she always made sure that there was a book in our house to read. My mother always made sure it was a book, a typewriter, and a 10-key calculator. Because coming from such a rural background and she didn't have the education, she worked in, cafeteria, factory kind of work. And she drilled us and prepared us so that we didn't have to do the same. Now, that wasn't a lot of sitting down, paying for tutorers or studying with me, but she made sure we had all the provisions and got to school every day so that we could learn and get what we want. And it's just that little bit of time. And like Terry Lynn just said, you don't have to have a diploma to be real well read. But if you don't get started and get our kids started in reading, then they will never be well read. So again, It's not all about the degrees and the education levels and the yada, yada, yada. It's just getting your child to be able to read, and doing that will give them more of a solid foundation to life. Okay? So let's see, what else? Yes, so DJ Red said he was taught to read to the children during pregnancy. And I have heard it. I don't think I did it because I was reading grown folk stuff while I was pregnant. So that wouldn't have been it. Because we had just started our book club, the Imani Literary Reading Group. Hey, ladies, if y'all watching or listening. And we started that book, so we were all into just reading, and enjoying our time. That used to be the best time in that book club. So, yep, and like Kwanzaa, KC just said, there are so many options. There is no excuse. There's a comedian. He's a teacher, but he's a comedian. So all of his jokes are around school and what teachers think. He says all this stuff. I'm sure you all have seen him. He had a video up the other day that hurt my heart because it was I don't know where it was. I don't think it was in Georgia, but it was a news story of this woman's son who had made it all the way to his senior year in high school and had basically, they didn't really mention his GPA, but that boy had missed. He had gotten to be a senior and he was going to have to go back to being in the 9th grade because the teachers had just passed him along up to being a senior. And then that senior year, he had missed or been late 229 times throughout the year. He had missed class or been late 229 times. And then something was 22. You all may have seen that video. But then you had the mother. Well, I just don't know. What's going on with the schools? Sounding all concerned. Where are the mentors? Where are the people that's supposed to help? And he said it, what everybody was thinking. Where were you? Where were you? And it's one thing about parenting. It's repetitive. You're going to have to say the same thing over and over, over and over, over and over, at least until the first 10, 12 years of their life. And you have to be consistent in everything that you do. It's also been said that 10 years old, the age of 10 with boys are really crucial. And you really have to be in touch with them and in tune with them, just while they're that puberty, while they're, getting their minds together. Because, ladies, they crazy anyway. But, it's that crucial age right around 10. So if you got a man that's kind of crazy, they dropped the ball when he was 10. I'm sorry. I'm teasing. All right. So, let's see. Okay, and then Kwanzaa says she was teaching while she was pregnant, so they heard the reading in the womb, and they probably did. Yes, they did. And Kim Goff said, hey, Kim. She said, me too. So thank y'all for joining me. Y'all know I love books. You know I do. So anyway, any other comments on, what you can do? Oh, this is what I was going to address earlier when we were saying how adults don't know to read. This is a thing that I have, again, discovered during this whole GED process and then volunteering. When I was volunteering, when I worked at that company, when I used to work at UPS, volunteering was huge with us. And we worked with some literacy groups, youth tutoring groups. And there was a lady, and she was in the Moreland Avenue area with her program. And she got kids in the 3rd grade. She started with them in the 3rd grade. And what she would do, she provided everything they need. So all they had to do was get their education. So she had volunteers that helped her with tutoring. If they were hungry, she helped with that. And so originally her plan was 3rd grade through elementary school. But of course, if you spend quality time with those kids, it's hard to let them go through middle school and high school. So her program, she had students that she had in her program since the 3rd grade all the way through high school, and some even college. But it was 2 kids in particular that hurt my heart because they had been in her program since the 3rd grade. She had gotten them through high school. She worked with them to get accepted into college, and they were on their way off to college. The summer before they left, they had to come live with her because their parents put them out because they felt like they were trying to be better than them. And it's just sad because that is what holds us up from helping our children succeed because we're afraid of them being better than us. When the whole key to it is they're supposed to be better than us. Our children are supposed to go and do better than what we've done, and we're supposed to help them get there by whatever means you can. And it's not all about money, and it's not all about what you can do and da-da-da-da-da. It's about educating yourself to the processes to help your children get to where they want to be. So I feel like I have just really been on my pedestal, but I did better than I thought I was because I was kind of passionate about it. Oh, but this is what I was going to say, though, when I led into the parents and everything. I know that it's a lot of adults that don't worry about trying to help their children because they can't really read themselves. And I had this cute little thing I thought about. I was like, well, technically, you good up to age 5 because they can't read. They don't know. Read the pictures to them until they're able to get to a point where they start to understand. But even in just reading those pictures, if you can't pronounce every word, if you can't read every word, read the pictures to them. It's still that story time, that creative time that you're spending with them that will still make a difference for them. So, all right. So any other comments? Anybody? Let's see. Okay, my teachers are getting deeper. Let's see. Allow children to read a variety of genres and disciplines of text. Yes, that is, as you get deeper into it. Yes. And then different texts require different skills. Yes, because that's when they're getting a little older. I would suggest that really heavily if your child is a reader, getting them to expand where they are so they're not stuck. Because in their culture, they're different cultures. They use different words. And I remember a news story, this was some years ago, where they were talking about that. Sometimes on these standardized tests, they might ask you a question based on a culture that's outside of the one that you're living in. You know, so just a quick example. I'm from Georgia. I'm from Atlanta. We call it drinks. Give me a drink. And that means a soda. That doesn't necessarily mean an alcoholic drink. But then you have people up north and other areas that call it pop and different things like that. But through reading is when you're expanded and you can expand your mind and understand that. And there's some other things too. I think in that news, it was something about, some call it a sofa, some call it something else, something to that nature. But yes, definitely. Hey, Mercy. All right. So what else you got to say, Kwanzaa? Anything else from my teachers out there? So how many people read, if you'll put some comments in the text for these last few minutes of the show, how many people read to their children or remember being read to and had a favorite book? My favorite book was Mr. McGroom's Ghost? It was like it was a series. And it was this man, and because it was I had several books on Mr. McBroom, and I remember it was Mr. McBroom's Ghost. And then as I got older, I used to like Encyclopedia Brown and Nancy Drew. And before all of those, though, I would check out all my Black history books. So I've been Black history since I was a little girl. And I would read the little Sojourner Truth book and MLK and Harriet Tubman and Thurgood Marshall. All of those books, I would check out books in the library. So yes, I am a proud nerd. I am. And I have no shame to it. Yeah, Berenstein Bears. And then, yes, thank you, DJ Red, Cat in the Hat. Let's see. Okay, so Terry, so that was good, Terry. You were never read to, but you read to yours. And that's the thing, too. Break the cycle. You might have not been read to, but pick up a book and read. That time, y'all, when you're getting and encouraging your child to think outside and use their imagination, that is just the most touching time because they will come up with some of the wildest stuff. They'll say, it's cute, but they'll come up with little different things. Well, why don't so and so and so and so? I remember my cousin Tony. He's not watching, but I'll tell it. He used to love, what was that? Bambi. Because I would read Bambi to Tony. And he'd be like, Bambi? Bambi? And I had to read that same little Bambi book. And now he on Facebook trying to look all sexy. But I remember when you would be running around asking for Bambi. So, yes, black poetry. Oh, Terry, no, you confessing. I stole a poetry book in elementary school. Shame on you. God forgives, Terry Lynn. And yeah, Jackie, I know you read because see, you were a part of that. Jackie was a part of my what do they call it? My circle. She's my older sister cousin. So that's like I said, in my family, you had to be on it. Yeah. Well, yeah, I still have a lot of my books because I kid you not, I still have my big black and white nursery rhyme book. I still have a lot of my books that I read as a little girl. And it changes your life and it's an escape. A lot of people, I can't read. I challenge you all to get a book, get a little thin paperback book, or find a collection of short stories like my book, Love, Patience, and Time, or J. California Cooper. And then that way you're pacing yourself. You're not challenged with, I got to read this book, 200 pages. But if you get short stories, then you are reading, one story at a time. It may take you 30 minutes to read just one story at a time. And you've accomplished something. And then as you travel through the stories and different, people's lives and stuff, one thing that I used to love about our book club was that we could read a book and we would sit and talk about those characters so bad. We gossip and talk about them, but I always felt good because nobody was going to go back and say anything to anybody that would be. And we could say, oh my God, that was so crazy or whatever. So we would always have a good time. So next week's show, and I know I'm winding down, next week, before I start talking about next week's show, I brought a few books. Because I support authors and, I pick up independent books, or if somebody has a book that's interesting to me, I'll pick them up. And then, I got a Nana Hope chest. So hopefully I get to be a grandmama one day. But anyway, so I brought a couple of the books that I have at home, children's books. This one is Buckley is a Busy Boy. This one was written by a good friend of mine, Susan Hines, and this is her first children's book. But this is just a story about her dog. I think she has a very active dog and, always getting into stuff. So she thought, hey, I'm going to write a story. And so it's really cute. But Buckley is a busy boy. And what she tries to do, like a lot of people in most children's book, is teach a lesson, talk about the basic good and bad things or, that you do and how to be better at things like that. But yeah, so this Buckley is a Busy Boy. It is on Amazon, written by Susan Hines. And then this is another one. I forget where I met this young lady, but her name is Crystal Swain Bates. And the name of her book is Big Hair, Don't Care. And so this one is about Lola. And Lola has really, really, really big hair, much bigger than the other kids at her school. But that doesn't stop her from telling anyone who will listen just how much she loves her hair. So this is a book designed to get us, and to get kids into acceptance of who we are so we can stop straightening and relaxing our hair. If you want to do it, you do it. But if not, to be okay with who you are and to represent yourself. So that's what this book is designed to do. I got big hair. My friend does too. And at the movies and the zoo, it often blocks out all the view. So never sit behind us too. Yeah, no, I don't like sitting behind big hair either. But anyway, so it's something that'll spark conversation with your kids and get them to talking. And then the last one that I brought is by Lil Nas. Of course, I saw he had a book on, he was on somebody's show talking about his book. And it's C is for Country. So this book Just basically, you join Lil Nas X in his celebration of music and the power inside all of us. So with this one, it's C is for country. So this one is, everything country. It goes through the alphabets, actually. So it starts with A. A is for adventure. Every day is a brand new start. And then it just goes through all the alphabets. C is for country. And then you go through. H is for hat. Look at mine. It's the tallest I could find. And then G is for guitar. And music is for everyone. So that's just a simple reading. Y'all, 15 minutes a day can make a night or, at any time will and can make a world of difference for our children. And we've got to stop the madness. We've got to spend time with our children and educate our children. Is it going to guarantee that they're going to be good and never do anything bad? No. But at least they won't have the excuse that they couldn't read and couldn't advance and didn't have a choice. Okay? And that's our responsibilities as parents, aunties, and grandparents to make a change, and grandfathers, uncles, and fathers. So it's everybody's responsibilities. Big brothers, big cousins, grab a child and get a book and sit down and read to them, and you'll see a tremendous change in them. Okay? So next week, we are going to talk about, I think next week, I'm going to revisit some of my episodes that's already on my YouTube channel. So I hadn't really fully decided, but I will be posting. I'm going to post out on Facebook, YouTube, and, the Caribbeanlifetv page and let you know. But I'm revisiting something. I just don't know what. Now, don't forget, if you're on YouTube, to subscribe and like the channel. And if you are interested and want me to have you on the show to talk about your book, because I do established authors as well as independent authors. So if you want to come on the show and talk about your book, I would love to have you, because it's lonely up here by myself. I got some authors that I'm working on, and they will be on the show. You know who you are. But anyway, and yeah, I'm just trying to decide what it's going to be next week. I got 2 or 3 ideas. But anyway, thank you all again for showing up. Hey, V, how you doing? Thank you for the stars. So I will see you all next week. Have a good one, and don't forget to keep reading to feed your mind. Peace.
Hey, oh, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm taking my freedom, pulling it off the shelf, putting it on my chain, wearing it round my neck. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my car, wherever I choose to go.
So that was
Take
good.
me far. I'm
felt like
living
it
my
was
life
good.
like it's golden. Living my life 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 like it's golden. Golden. Living my life like it's 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 golden. Golden. I'm taking my own freedom, putting it in my song, singing loud and strong, grooving all day long. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my stroll. I'll be hot stepping, y'all, letting the joy unfold. I'm living my life like it's golden. Living my life like it's golden. Living my life like it's golden. Living my life like it's